June 19, 1944. The Pacific Ocean churns under a dawned sky, 200 miles west of the Mariana Islands. Task Force 58, the mightiest armada of American naval power ever assembled, cuts through the waves. At its heart, 15 aircraft carriers, including legends like USS Enterprise, USS Lexington, USS Yorktown, and USS Bunker Hill. Over 900 warplanes stand ready, sleek, powerful F-6F Hellcats, built to dominate the skies. Vice Admiral Mark Mitcher, a steely tactician, commands from his flagship, Lexington, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the Imperial Japanese Navy dares to challenge America's advance. Today, the Japanese will learn a brutal lesson in modern warfare, one that will shatter their dreams of air superiority and mark a turning point in the Pacific War. Across the ocean, aboard the Japanese carrier Taihō, Lieutenant Warrant Officer Sekio Komatsu prepares for battle. It's 0730 hours, and the air crackles with tension. The briefing room hums with urgency. American carriers have been spotted east of Guam, a massive fleet threatening Japan's grip on the Pacific. Komatsu, a young but determined pilot, adjusts his flight suit and checks his Mitsubishi A6M0, fitted with a centerline drop tank for a 1,000-mile range. His mission: escort the second wave of a desperate strike to cripple the American invasion force. Japan's strategy hinges on the Zero's legendary agility, a doctrine forged in the devastating strikes of 1941, Pearl Harbor, Darwin, Ceylon, where coordinated attacks by elite pilots crushed their enemies. Commander Minoru Genda's tactics emphasized the Zero's ability to outmaneuver any opponent, staying aloft longer than American planes, allowing skilled pilots to dominate through precision and endurance. But Task Force 58 is no ordinary foe. This American juggernaut boasts 6 Essex-class carriers, each a 27,000-ton fortress with reinforced flight decks designed to take a beating and keep fighting. Unlike Japan's lightweight carriers, built for speed and aircraft capacity, American designers prioritize survival. Every ship is a floating fortress, equipped with advanced damage control and bristling with anti-aircraft guns. At the core of their air power is the F-6F Hellcat, a beast of an aircraft introduced in 1943 to counter the Zero. Grumman's engineers studied captured Zeros, learning their strengths and exploiting their weaknesses. The Hellcat, weighing 12,000 pounds, is powered by a 2,000 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R2800 engine, hitting speeds of 380 miles per hour. Its cockpit is wrapped in 212 pounds of armor, with self-sealing fuel tanks to shrug off enemy fire. 6.50 caliber Browning machine guns, each loaded with 400 rounds, deliver a storm of lead that no Japanese plane can match. As the sun climbs, 128 Japanese aircraft from carriers Taihō, Shōkaku, and Zuikaku approach Task Force 58 at 24,000 feet. The formation includes Zeros, Judy dive bombers, and Jill torpedo bombers, but many pilots are green, some with just 100 hours of flight time, rushed through a 6-month training program to replace Japan's mounting losses. Carrier landings? They've practiced maybe 5 times. Navigation and formation flying dominate their training, leaving little time for combat tactics. Lieutenant Junior Grade Tetsuo Yamamoto, a veteran with 600 combat hours from campaigns in the Dutch East Indies and Rabaul, is a rare exception. But even he senses trouble. The Zero's mystique, unchallenged in 1942, has faded. American pilots have learned to counter its agility with tactics like the thatch weave, exploiting the Zero's lack of armor. Ensign Hiroshi Tanaka, Yamamoto's wingman, has just 75 hours of flight time and no real combat training. His guns have never fired at a moving target. Japan's Air Force is a shadow of its former self, a mix of veterans stretched thin and novices barely ready for war. Meanwhile, aboard USS Yorktown, American radar operators pick up the Japanese formation 150 miles out. The Combat Information Center, a nerve hub of technology, tracks every blip on glowing radar screens. Fighter director officers, masters of a new kind of warfare, vector Hellcats to intercept points with surgical precision. This isn't guesswork, it's a revolution in aerial combat. Unlike Japan's reliance on visual lookouts and outdated radios, American carriers use radar and clear VHF communications to orchestrate their defenses. Each Hellcat pilot, averaging 300 hours of flight time, has trained relentlessly in gunnery, energy tactics, and team coordination. Stateside programs churn out 10,000 naval aviators a year, each logging 500 hours, including 150 in combat aircraft. They practice deflection shooting, simulated dogfights, and tactics against Mach Zeros. The Hellcat itself is a tank in the sky. Its 1.5-inch bulletproof windscreen can stop a 7.7mm round point blank, and its airframe can take multiple 20mm hits and still fly. At 0915 hours, 90 miles west of Guam, the first clash erupts. Commander David McCampbell, leading VF-15 from USS Essex, spots the Japanese formation. His 12 Hellcats dive from 28,000 feet, screaming down at 450 miles per hour. Ensign Tanaka tries to jink left, hoping to outturn the Americans, but the Hellcat sticks to him like glue. Its superior power lets it match the Zero's turns at speeds where the Japanese plane grows sluggish. A burst of .50 caliber rounds rips through Tanaka's Zero, shredding control cables and igniting fuel tanks. The Zero, with no armor to protect it, erupts in flames, its wing tanks exploding in a fireball. Tanaka never had a chance. The sight stuns the Japanese pilots, who believed their Zeros were untouchable. His 12 Hellcats dive from 28,000 feet, screaming down at 450 miles per hour. Ensign Tanaka tries to jink left, hoping to outturn the Americans, but the Hellcat sticks to him like glue. Its superior power lets it match the Zero's turns at speeds where the Japanese plane grows sluggish. A burst of .50 caliber rounds rips through Tanaka's Zero, shredding control cables and igniting fuel tanks. The Zero, with no armor to protect it, erupts in flames, its wing tanks exploding in a fireball. Tanaka never had a chance. The sight stuns the Japanese pilots, who believed their Zeros were untouchable. McCampbell's team presses the attack, using slashing dives to shred the enemy formation. The Hellcat's speed and firepower overwhelm the Zeros, which can't match their high-speed handling. American pilots stick to disciplined energy tactics, avoiding the low-speed dogfights where Zeros shine. Their radios crackle with clear orders, while Japanese pilots, plagued by static, resort to hand signals, their formations crumbling under pressure. In 8 minutes, 12 Zeros are shot down, their burning wrecks plummeting to the sea. The Americans note the enemy's poor gunnery, bursts fly wide, missing targets entirely. Japanese maneuvers seem predictable, almost rehearsed, a sign of rushed training. Lieutenant Alexander Vrashu from VF-16 aboard Lexington intercepts another wave, his 4 Hellcats downing 6 planes with just 360 rounds fired. The .50 caliber guns tear through Zeros like paper, wings shearing off, engines bursting into flames. The Hellcat's armor shrugs off 7.7mm hits, while its own guns destroy Zeros with surgical precision. Japan's 20mm cannons, though dangerous, are hobbled by low velocity and scarce ammo. Most pilots burn through their 60 rounds quickly, leaving them with weak machine guns. Vice Admiral Jisaburo Ozawa, commanding the Japanese fleet, launches a second wave at 0856 hours, 128 aircraft, including 48 Zeros, 53 Judy dive bombers, and 27 JIL torpedo bombers. It's a desperate bid to overwhelm Task Force 58. But navigation errors scatter the formation, with some groups lost in the vast Pacific. Lieutenant Russell Reiser from VF-31 aboard USS Cabot catches the lead element 60 miles out. His Hellcats attack from the sun, unnoticed until their guns blaze. 5 Japanese planes spiral down in flames, their pilots failing to spot the ambush. Successive Hellcat formations, positioned at staggered altitudes, pick off the survivors. Anti-aircraft fire from American destroyers and cruisers forms a deadly curtain, shredding what's left. Only 1 torpedo bomber gets close enough to launch, and USS Indiana dodges it with ease. By 1100 hours, a third Japanese wave meets the same fate. McCampbell's VF-15 engages over 40 aircraft, with McCampbell himself downing 7 planes and his wingman, Lieutenant Roy Rushing, claiming 4. The Japanese formation dissolves into chaos, pilots abandoning their attack to survive. Lieutenant Commander Kenji Suzuki, limping back in a battered Zero, watches his comrades fall. His plane is riddled with .50 caliber holes, its engine coughing. The losses are staggering: 69 aircraft launched in the first wave, only 27 return. The second wave fares worse, with just a third surviving. Japan's pilots, once the terror of the Pacific, are outmatched by a new American fighter that defies every assumption. The Hellcat's ability to climb faster, turn at high speed, and absorb punishment flips the script on Japan's air war. Aboard Taihō, Ozawa grapples with the disaster. Reports paint a grim picture. American fighters dominate every altitude, their radar-guided defenses unbreakable. The Zero's myth of invincibility lies in ruins. Pilots, some just weeks out of training, describe facing an enemy that seems untouchable. Their 7.7mm guns bounce off Hellcat armor, while American bullets turn Zeros into fireballs. Veterans like Yamamoto, who once ruled the skies, struggle to adapt. Japan's tactics, built on agility and pilot skill, are obsolete against an enemy that refuses to fight on their terms. Morale collapses as flight decks stand empty, mechanics staring at vacant spots where planes should be. The human toll is devastating, friends and comrades lost, their sacrifice achieving nothing. As the day wanes, American search planes spot the Japanese fleet 275 miles away. Mitchell launches a daring strike, 216 aircraft, including 85 Hellcats, pushing the limits of their range. The Japanese, down to 35 fighters, are defenseless. USS Taihō sinks under torpedo hits, while Shōkaku and Chiyoda burn from bomb strikes. American pilots, guided by radar and trained for precision, press their attacks with relentless focus. As night falls, Mitchell risks illuminating his carriers to guide returning planes, a bold move that saves 85% of his crews despite 80 planes lost to fuel exhaustion or landing mishaps. The Battle of the Philippine Sea, dubbed the Marianas Turkey Shoot, ends in a rout. Japan loses 445 aircraft, including 395 carrier planes, and over 400 pilots, irreplaceable losses that cripple their navy. America loses 123 planes, mostly to accidents, with only 43 down by enemy action. The 10-to-1 kill ratio is unprecedented, surpassing even Midway. The Hellcat, with its 19-to-1 kill ratio across the war, proves its worth, accounting for 75% of Navy air victories. Its design, armor, firepower, reliability lets average pilots achieve extraordinary results, while Japan's Zeros demand perfection from pilots who no longer exist. The broader context of World War II amplifies this victory. While Germany's Luftwaffe battles American and British forces in Europe, Japan's defeat in the Pacific exposes the Axis powers' crumbling air forces. The Hellcat's success mirrors the P-51 Mustang's dominance over German fighters, showcasing America's industrial might. By 1944, the U.S. produces 96,000 aircraft to Japan's 28,000, overwhelming the enemy with quantity and quality. The loss of Shōkaku and Taihō to submarines on the same day, veteran carriers sunk by single torpedo hits, seals Japan's fate. Their naval aviation, once a global terror, is reduced to kamikaze missions, desperate acts that sacrifice lives for little gain. For American listeners, this battle is a testament to resilience. From Pearl Harbor's ashes, the U.S. Navy rose to build Task Force 58, a force that turned the Pacific into an American lake. The Hellcat, born from lessons of defeat, became the sword that cut down Japan's air force. Pilots, trained in vast numbers, proved that democracy's strength lies in its people, ordinary men achieving extraordinary feats through preparation and technology. The radar systems, the disciplined tactics, the industrial power, all reflect a nation united, turning the tide against tyranny. The human stories linger. American pilots, like McCampbell, described the surreal ease of victory, mixed with pity for Japanese pilots flying fragile planes with little training. Japanese survivors, like Suzuki, carried the weight of watching friends burn, their dreams of glory shattered. The battle's legacy shapes modern naval warfare. Radar, pilot protection, and systematic training become global standards. The Hellcat, serving into the Korean War, proves its enduring value. For America, the Marianas Turkey Shoot is a triumph of innovation, courage, and resolve, a moment when freedom's arsenal crushed the hopes of an empire, paving the way for victory in the Pacific.